an amazing opportunity to combine client computing and cloud computing and really balance the two together. So at Adobe, we're taking very much a balanced approach with each. And our belief is the future of computing is really combining processing on the local client and taking advantage of a bunch of different services across the cloud. And to give a little overview of what we're doing in this space, first I'm going to give an overview of the client side, then we'll talk about on the cloud side. So on the client, of course, we've been doing some really great innovation with Flash Player 10. It's already been released, it's being adopted broadly, and it's reaching already with Flash Player pretty much all the computers on the web today. And the situation we're in is pretty amazing because we can actually update that software now in less than a year. In about 9 months, we can actually upgrade the capabilities on the web and introduce new capabilities for everyone who are using these applications and interacting with content. And what this means for you is that we can innovate at a much faster rate. We can deploy new technologies like Pixel Bender or new 3D effects or a faster scripting engine. And we can get that out to everyone on the web in a consistent way, and you can start taking advantage of it very quickly. So with Flash Player 10, we've introduced a few different areas, and these are driven actually by communication between the Flash Player team and all of you, really driving forward where Flash should go. You know, we saw some people doing 3D graphics libraries. We thought, how can we make those go faster? We saw people using text more inside their applications. How can we make that be higher quality? And so we've really driven the functionality in Flash Player 10 based on working with all of you and the edges you're pushing on what you're actually creating with Flash. So let's take a look at what's in Flash Player 10 here. So the first example I want to show you is something that's called Hobnox. And this is actually a mixer. It's a kind of old school design here. I've got a little volume control and I've got a bunch of boxes connected. And I can start the music playing here. And I can turn on some different patterns. You can see the music's actually being generated here by this little device. And of course I've got some foot pedals and I can turn these on. I can get some delay, get some reverb going. So I can start affecting the sound here in interesting new ways. And of course I can get a little backbeat going. Now if I want to, I can add new devices. So go down here to the little device well, I can grab a synthesizer, drag it out onto the area here. There it is. I can just drag from the output of the synth into the mixer, and I can turn on some new patterns and mix that in. So this is a great example of what's possible now. I can turn the volume down here with the master control. With the audio capabilities that are available in Flash Player 10, complete access, dynamic audio, you can do real-time processing and mixing of audio in Flash Player 10. So there's some more that we can do with that. Of course, you can connect the audio to scripting. So this is an example that Grant Skinner put together of making using 3D graphics to render the music as it's playing. So he's doing dynamic waveform analysis of the audio in Flash Player, and then using 3D effects to actually tween between shapes in his animation here. The other example of using 3D is an exhibit that was at the This is Chihuly, and he's a great glass artist. And this is using 3D effects to actually look at some of the art that he's created. And I can go and zoom into some of these pieces, and you can see it's using Pixel Bender effects to actually transform these images as I'm rolling around and zooming into some of them. And it's doing this very quickly, and it's doing it at runtime. So you're actually able to do these transformations now in Flash Player live, rather than needing to do them in post-processing before you deploy. So some amazing work with 3D inside Flash Player 10. It doesn't stop there. So this is a cloth demo. This is using the drawing API to do real-time cloth animation here. And I've got an image on there, and you can see the way this actually is working with a bunch of triangles that's being transformed with the drawing API to make it look like it has a 3D effect. And I can even apply video to that, and I can transform the video while I'm waving this cloth around here. So really amazing, real live transformation. Now we put a text engine in Flash Player, a completely new engine that took the best of what we knew from professional publishing and InDesign, and we had some of those team members help us put a new engine inside Flash. And of course we've got column-to-column flow, and we've got great kerning and ligatures and line breaking. But if we didn't stop there, and we actually made it so you can actually draw text using the drawing API as well. And of course it can animate. I can do loops if I want to. And the engine in Flash Player now is not just an English text engine. Of course you can use other languages. Here's Italian, which is just switched here. I'm drawing in Italian now. And we now support complex scripts and right-to-left text inside Flash Player 10, so you can reach the audience worldwide with your content. Here's some Japanese being drawn with the new text engine. Of course, that can animate as well. So full worldwide tech support inside of Flash Player 10. One last example I wanted to show you is Photoshop.com. Looks like I've already got it here. And Photoshop.com is a way for you to share images and edit them in place. And I wanted to show you some of the new capabilities we're adding with Pixel Blender, so you can apply some live effects to images while you're online. And this was built with Flex. It's running on Flash Player 10. And I can select this image and apply some filters, like Quad Blur, for example, which is a new filter that you can do inside of Pixel Blender. So you can see I can apply some very interesting real-time effects to this image just by rolling over. And you can define your own effects. This is a language that came from After Effects, and now it's actually available at runtime. I can also do something like Circle Splash, which is a very interesting way of actually creating a little circle on the image here and then extruding the colors, so I can get a very interesting effect here on top of the image of these archways. And then I can apply multiple effects I want. So if I want to also do a techno dot transformation, I can keep that. And then on top of that, I can do a techno dot transformation on top of the circle splash in real time live, all being added cumulatively. So some really new expressive capabilities inside Flash Player 10. I'm sure you're going to have a heyday with them. So that's just the beginning of what we're doing with Flash. Now, we also have Flash Player 10 available 64-bit on Linux in a preview release. So we're getting the 64-bit with Flash. That's just coming out today at Max. You can start playing with that. Now inside Flash Player, we've also, of course, done a great job really helping to make web video be a revolution that everyone can enjoy and have it work really seamlessly across whatever browsers and operating systems you're on. And the amount of web video has been increasing dramatically. Just the last year, we've gone from 66% of video on the web in Flash to over 80% worldwide in Flash just in the last year. And we're really excited to see what people are doing with video. Some of the best brands in the world are taking advantage of video to really express themselves. And we're really fortunate to have with us today, representing one of those top 10 brands in the world, is the CTO of Disney's Media Interactive Group. And I'd like to invite up Bud Albers to tell us more about